Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red. This Monday morning, warm, I think sunny Monday morning. It's going to be a fantastic day. Feels like for the first time, a sense of new beginnings has come into this year, and it makes me feel good to do that. Matthew chapter 18, Jesus continues in verse 23. With an inspiration and an introduction to a story that he wants Peter and the disciples to gain understanding regarding. And so he begins to build this plot in verse 23, and we read these words. It says, "For this reason, the kingdom of heaven may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his slaves." So he starts to put into place the visualization of different aspects of the characters and the dynamics as it relates to the unfolding of this story or this parable or this spiritual insight that he's wanting to give his disciples. So let's have a look, see who we've got by way of the characters. For this reason, so that means in the light of what I've just, Peter, said to you regarding those things about forgiveness. So he's saying, for this reason, so as it were, on behalf of what I've just said, let's build, as it were, a plot that will enable us to gain understanding of what I've just said. So for this reason, the kingdom of heaven. So he's saying, for this reason, the kingdom of heaven, meaning the kingdom of God, meaning the reality of how life works when you live in the presence of the King of Glory, whose name is Jesus. When you are, as it were, a subject of the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, meaning being part of everything that God represents, a subject of the kingdom of God. So for this reason, and this sense of, if you're going to be one of these kingdom kids, Jesus is saying, this is how it's going to work. So for this reason, the kingdom may be compared to a king. So the kingdom, meaning the dynamics relating to one sort of kingdom and the dynamics relating to another sort of kingdom, Jesus is saying it can be compared to a king. So there's a kingdom and there's a kingdom and there's a king. And the king is requiring, as it were, a resolve to some issues as it relates to unfulfilled payment of accounts. So he says, for this reason, so may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts. And the king is the king because he's in charge. And he is in charge because he has established for himself the rulership. Now, he may have inherited the rule or he may have the right to rule, but he's the king. And he's inherited, as it were, aspects of things that people owe him. So people are indebted to the king. And he wants to bring resolve to, as it were, the debt or to those who owe him something. And so he says, the kingdom of God may be compared to a king who wished to settle accounts with his slave. So his slaves being, as it were, those who are subject to his kingship over their lives. Now, people don't like God being king over their lives because they want to be king. And so settling accounts as it relates to making payment to God for outstanding debt is not something people like to do. So Jesus is formulating the dynamics of this parable, and we'll continue tomorrow.